Okay, I'd like to make a pair of steampunk glowing-eyed apocalyptic goggles. So what I've got is a pair of super cheap goggles from dealextreme.com, and I've mic'd my LEDs. Once you know how big your LEDs are, then you can go ahead and find a drill bit that's just over the size. And you have to trust me, it's just over the size. So on this pair of goggles, it has these sort of eyebrow ridges. So what I've done is I've drilled behind them. My original thought was to side light, and that would still be better, but it's just not going to work with these goggles. So I'm going to go ahead and I drill behind the lenses so it comes out inside. And I've done 2 in the top and 2 in the bottom, and I sort of just eyeballed their placement. So LED, 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 LED. Next, I want to file down the sides of my LEDs. On my sanding block here, I'm just going to try to get it parallel and sand them down. So the flat, you can't really see it there, but the flat goes against the back side of the goggles and slips into the hole there, allowing the LED to mount flush. And on the inside, it then gives you an abraded point where your eyes will be. So your eyes will be back here. And I'm going to cover it with some really thick black paint on the back side with the hopes that I can deflect most of the light away from my eyes. I don't know if it'll be enough, but if it's still too bright, I can always step in with some bigger resistors and come up with something that'll work. There we go. I have got my 4 LEDs in place, 2 per eye. The ones on top are red, the ones on the bottom are blue. I just thought the combination would look a little apocalyptic. Now it's just a matter of securing them in place. I'm just going to dribble a dab or 2 of super glue on the top edges, and we should be good to go. The next step will be wiring them up. On a project like this, I see no reason you should have to buy a thing. So I've grabbed some wires out of the scrap wire bin, and I noticed that an old keyboard plug has got 4 wires, just what I need, and it's long enough that I can connect it to my goggles and then to the battery pack, which is right here, that I hope to put in my back pocket. So I think this gray cable will stand out nicely against the costume, because I don't want it to fade in. If you wanted it to fade away, obviously use black. I don't want it to fade away. I want it to be super obvious. The whole wired sort of look is what I'm going for. I'm going to wire these in series because my battery pack puts out just about 6 volts, and I found out if I wire them in series, I get that sort of dim looking light that I was hoping for. I still might have to put a resistor in, but I know that in series the two will be just fine and they'll survive. And then each light obviously be a different circuit. So I'm going to come in the positive of one, out the negative of the other, into the positive of the other side, and then obviously out the negative again. I'm going to use this little bit of what I think is a disk drive power wire because I like the bright orange look, and I'm going to weave it. I don't know if you notice that we've got some thread, some faux stitching. I'm going to weave it through the faux stitching as if it's actually built into the goggles. Alright, so there they are threaded through. I would like this loop to be somewhat symmetrical, so I'm going to be careful when I snip them off, and I should have plenty of wire left to do a matching pair up on top. And there's the completed circuit for this bottom half. Positive comes in here, flows through this one, out into the positive of that one, and then the negative here will come out to the negative of my power source. Now to do the top. There we are. We have 2 separate circuits running LEDs with no resistors in series, bringing them down in their voltage. We have the blue ones. Now I will admit that I gave it a bit of a test run and I didn't like the red LEDs, so I have swapped them out with some ultraviolet LEDs, and I think the ultraviolet and blue will make a neat combination. I have to attach the plug, and I'm going to use a very, very technical switch. I'm going to use taking a battery out. That'll be my on-off switch right there, and I don't see a bit of problem with that. So Here, I've attached it just with some zip ties. I'm making no attempt whatsoever to hide any of my wiring, any of the mounting, zip ties, nothing. Because I want all that. I want it to appear handmade. And when I'm done, I'll actually add some additional decoration to this in the form of, bits and pieces from old computers. So, if you wanted all this hidden, I imagine you could use black wire and do a nicer job and not bend up your LEDs in such a way that they stick out in your wires and whatnot. But I like this. I got my blue ones at the bottom, my purple up at the top. The way it stands now, it'll illuminate your eyes in the background. When I do a little bit of the blacking, it'll be perfectly see-through, which will make it kind of unique. Many of the steampunk glasses, you can see the cord running in the background right there. Many of the steampunk glasses that I looked at weren't actually wearable because you couldn't see through the things. Well, there it is, all done. You can see your eyes through it, kind of the way I'd hoped. Using the black paint on the inside of the LEDs did a great job of dulling them out some, and I know another coat of paint would even protect my night vision a little better. You could easily dance in this, walk around at night in this. I wouldn't drive in it, but for the most part, everything else is going to work just fine. So, if you're looking for a pair of lit up steampunk goggles to go with your space cowboy outfit, this works. Thanks for watching.